What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with TechDaily, and today we are checking out the OnePlus X. This is OnePlus's third smartphone, and for a company who's been known to produce some awesome off-contract budget smartphones, this one takes the value aspect one step further. For just $249, you get a nicely built phone with some pretty decent specs, completely contract-free. So let's go ahead and check it out. Taking a look at the outside of the box, we have some pretty simple packaging with just the X logo across the front. On the back, we have all the product info and a list of what's inside the box. And on the sides, the OnePlus X logo. So we'll cut into the plastic, rip it off, pull the lid off of the box, and there we see the new OnePlus X. We'll pull it out and set it to the side for just a second, and digging a little deeper inside the box, you'll find a couple different user guides. You'll also get a OnePlus wall plug, as well as a micro USB cable for charging, no USB-C like on the OnePlus 2. Inside another small pouch in the box, you'll find a SIM tray ejector tool, along with a pretty simple but fairly decent clear plastic case to house your OnePlus X, which is actually pretty nice to be included. So with all that out of the way, once again, here is the new OnePlus X. And I have to say, my first impressions of this device is that it's built with some great materials and feels surprisingly high quality. The front and back housing are all glass, so it essentially feels like an iPhone 4 or Galaxy S6, and it's definitely a fingerprint magnet, but I'm personally a big fan of glass housing, just given how premium it feels compared to plastic housing. Compared to most of today's flagships, the OnePlus X would be considered somewhat small in size. The screen sports a 5-inch OLED 1080p Full HD display at 441 pixels per inch. The screen looks great, colors pop, and blacks are particularly deep, and the small size makes it really comfortable to hold and use with just one hand. Taking a look around, on the front you have 3 capacitive buttons that unfortunately are not backlit, and up top you have an 8-megapixel front-facing camera and earpiece. The left side houses the same alert slider that we saw on the OnePlus 2 with 3 modes: no notifications, priority, and all notifications. You'll also notice that the sides of the OnePlus X are all aluminum with a chamfered edge that makes gripping the phone a lot easier with all that glass around it. On the right side we have the power button and volume buttons, along with a dual SIM and micro SD tray, which lets you use either dual SIMs or one SIM and one expandable SD card for up to 128 gigabytes of storage. The top just has a 3.5mm headphone jack and microphone hole, and the bottom sports 2 speaker grills, but only one of them is actually an external speaker, unfortunately. The other is another microphone, with a micro USB port in the middle. And on the back you get a decent 13-megapixel camera and flash. In regards to the internals, the OnePlus X offers a Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 processor with a 2.3 GHz quad-core CPU, a Qualcomm Adreno 330 GPU, 3 GB of RAM, and 16 GB of expandable storage. You get the familiar Oxygen OS over Android 5.1.1 that's been customized even further with a darker theme. Everything on the OnePlus X is pretty smooth and fluid overall, and for a phone on a budget, the specs you get are fairly competitive. For $249 off contract and finally invite free, you get a really good phone overall. This is still a budget smartphone, so you won't get things like a quad HD display, fingerprint sensor, or 4K video, but the competitive internal specs and excellent build quality you do get makes this phone a steal given the price. One huge downside to this phone worth noting is its incredibly poor LTE support. It's unlocked and ready to use on many US carriers like AT&T and T-Mobile, but the OnePlus X lacks support for AT&T's most widely used frequency and T-Mobile's upcoming new frequencies. That means that although you can technically connect to LTE, coverage will be poor if it's available at all. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know what you think of the OnePlus X in the comments below. Also, be sure to follow TechDaily on Twitter and subscribe to the TechDaily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.